All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera, and we are back at it with the live discussions with Diamond podcast. And the video you just saw in our intro is a special tribute and a very nice highlight of what we have tonight with our very special guest. But before we get started, big shout out to Motion Envy with this shirt here saying the roots of salsa must not be forgotten. Guys, get your shirts today. Check it out at motionenvy.com. And today, people, we are hitting another local business. Right now, we're taking our talents to Boston specifically. And this woman here, I've seen a lot of her work, not just as a dancer, but now in fashion. And now she is bringing her influence in fashion into the dance world. And as you saw in the video previously, a lot of her work has been featured and published in congresses, socials, events near you. And honestly, it is a true pleasure here that we have all the way from the Boston area, the owner and founder of My CG Fashion, the one and only Sherry.
Hi, Diamond. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. First of all, again, Sherry, I really do appreciate you coming on to the podcast. First things first, to kind of get out the way, how have you been?
Great. It's been great. Busy, but great. I love it. Thank you so much. And you actually really brought my day. I've been having really stressful day, and once I see you smile, I feel so much better right now.
Thank you. This world is crazy, but sometimes we just need moments like this to kind of get away from it all. But again, myself, being able to connect with you, us knowing or having mutual friends, for example, the one and only Tina Cavicchio, and as we saw in that video, I believe you creating pieces for them with Next Level. But so many of the groups that I know of in Boston and the surrounding areas that you've been able to work with are phenomenal. Womanity, and the list goes on. But I think again today we'll have a chance to get a little bit of a glimpse into who Sherry is, into your journey, into fashion, into dance, into Boston, and everything in between. And we've talked as well privately kind of about your upbringings of where you came from to where you are now. So Sherry, as I do with every one of my guests, we will of course talk about what we see currently with My CG and the amount of content that you've been able to produce. But I think it's also important to understand the human being, the person through it all. So kind of Sherry, help us understand really who Sherry is before My CG, before dancing in Boston, before it all.
Thank you so much. Well, that's a long story. Let me get. I have to talk about the last 40 years. That's a lot.
Well, I would say in a sense, really kind of, of course, the upbringing part before getting to the US.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've been to US and Boston for around 7 years now. Before that, I was living in Hong Kong and in China. So that was how I got my design background and also the product trading background. And I worked as also market manager. So I had over 10 years of working experience. But once I moved to US, I found really hard to find a job in the similar field. And I was facing the situation if I should change in different field, or I should keep on looking for something I really passionate. And then at the end,
Mhm.
when I started to learn dancing, dancers, a lot of people really inspire me. For example, Tina Caviccio, she was one of
Yes.
them. Jenna, they really inspire me to do my business. I noticed they could be dancer, they could be instructor, they could be student, they could have another part-time job. They
Yeah.
make. So I'm like, wow, how can you manage 24 hours doing so many things? And what
Yeah.
am I complaining? Why I still feel I'm too busy? So instead
Wow.
of spending all the time frustrating, thinking, why don't I just put action, just to create something, create a job for myself?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was how I started, and then and also so when I was started to learn dancing, I realized the costume was so expensive, and the shoes
Yeah.
expensive, not looking good. So I
Yeah.
started, I was just helping some friends to order some shoes, or
Mhm.
making some costumes like occasionally, and then I started to making more and more to the for the instructors
Yeah.
or organizers, and then I also did some fashion show, dance fashion show, and I think the time when I did, probably the first time, it was the first time ever someone did dance fashion show. Like you
Yeah.
have all the dancers, and you have let the dancer become the models and show different models. I always trying to be, and also one thing I inspire a lot is, in back to Asian, we have the similar type of body type. And when I came to
Mm.
US, I was so fascinated by all different body
Shapes and size. Yeah.
shape, different size, different skin color, and they're all beautiful. Especially when they dance, they have all the confidence.
Mhm.
And I was like, the confidence is the most beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
I just, yeah, and then that's why I was like, I wanted to design the beautiful clothes for not only skinny models. I want to design for
Mm.
all types of body, and I want make everyone feel confident and beautiful as they should be. They are
Yeah.
deserved. So that was like something I had in my mind I wanted to do. And I feel really inspired by every one of them. Every time when I go dancing, it's not just about dancing. I was looking at everyone like, okay, I love these shoes. I love that style. I just
Yeah.
inspirations in my brain. And then when I go back home, I just keep on drawing the ideas. And sometimes I just talking to, a, if you know, you might notice also a lot of
Mhm.
dancers, they are also, they might be designer or artists. So the
Mm.
dancers, a lot of time they are in also different kind of artists. So I
Yes.
also like talking to other designer, or other dancers, the ideas. What do you think these shoes? Or what about adding a little bit lace? Or what about adding a little bit diamond? Not diamond. I mean rhinestones.
Yeah. Once you say diamond, I mean, that's a whole new
It's
price
just your
range we're
name.
talking.
Your name in my brain, you know.
I mean, well, I mean, come on, diamond are a girl's best friend, but on a pair of shoes, it can get a little pricey. I definitely don't
Yeah, I
blame you.
know. Yeah, so basically, I have this idea talking to friends, dancers, the ideas. I and then every when I get back, then I started to draw. Like I was just started to put in the ideas
Wow.
to like all the drawings. Sorry, that's my
Oh, and the
cat.
cat. That's a cat.
Yeah, so I just like I always just keep on any ideas, just keep on drawing. Yeah, and sometimes it's just not even drawing for making it, just I wanted to have this when I still have the fresh brain, I want to
Yeah.
draw the idea there, and then it sometimes helped me to give in the ideas to my clients too. I've been And it's really helpful. I always trying to think something really different, but
Mhm.
also I want to consider the body type. It's not just about how beautiful the design or special, but I also have to think, for example, if it's like stripy, does the curvy body looking good, or if it's I don't only think about one type of body. I want to make sure like
Yeah.
every different type also have something at least they feel comfortable with.
Absolutely. I mean, what's interesting is, Sherry, I find is that, you, like you say, coming from Hong Kong and
Mhm.
Chinese culture, as you said, the aesthetic, the body type is kind of one specific way, and it's
Yeah.
only geared to a certain size. And like you
Mhm.
said, coming to America, and you're seeing like different shades of colors, different body types, different sizes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I think a common thing that happens with everyone is their confidence, because I think a lot of people's confidence, whether you're a dancer, whether you're just working in a mom and pop shop, or wherever you're working, a lot of times people focus on the clothing that they wear brings them confidence. And that's something that's really special to see, is because a lot of people who go into the fashion business, most of the time, and totally understanding, are going in it for the monetary gain without actually having a mission. But when yourself, who's been introduced to dance, and I think as well, you told me a little bit in Hong Kong, but mainly in the States, then being able to be introduced to different people, that right
Mhm.
there gave the inspiration. So a question I have for you, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I actually wanted to ask a little more, was what was that first dance experience like for you in the States? I think you said you moved to, I believe it was Boston. And do you remember like your first class? What was that like?
First class, I think I was learning with Leah. Oh, I love this comment. Very interesting design. Thank you.
Yes, yes, Melinda, all the way from she's all the way from San Antonio. We got some fans out here from San Antonio loving your designs.
Thank you. Yeah. So I started learn from Leah. Leah, she has a chicas team, like ladies team. That was my
Mhm.
first salsa class, and then I learned from at Havana Club. In
Yes, the
Okay, so everyone knows. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean Boston is just the same community. Everyone from probably know.
Mhm.
And also my first, and then I also joined Rush and Tina at the time. Back the time, Rush and Tina was still teaching. This
Alma.
Alma, yes.
Yes, that's why it's funny now. I remember you vividly because I'm like, wait, I've seen her perform somewhere. Alma Boston, I believe you were on that team.
Yeah, and then I also joined Jenna and Louise team, and
Yep.
I joined Inna from Moves and the Vibes. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I also joined the ladies team and also some partner team with. So I and the Zouk team. So I kind of joined every different kind of team.
Everything.
And I also learned from Michelle.
Mhm.
Um, Michelle teach salsa on too. Yeah, so I kind of learn from every one of them.
Wow, that's amazing, because most people who kind of get introduced to dance, they kind of take it slow, but you were like head on. But that's also a big shout out to the Boston community, because it can be easy for someone from Boston to say, "Hey, we got this community here, but there's so many other places." But you really kind of going head in and really taking advantage of what was presented to you, and that's amazing. You went into bachata and the salsa, into moves and vibes that also focus on kizomba and some zouk. So that's great. And you
Oh
actually
yeah,
brought
then
up,
Samba too. Kizomba from Bruna and the CJ.
yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, then realizing, and I tell people this, Boston has a great history. I love that they have so many different styles. They might not be the biggest city or the biggest state, but they definitely have some amazing dancers. And for me, Alma Boston was one of my favorites. But Sherry, let me ask you a question. Of course,
Mhm.
coming from a different culture
Mhm.
into the States, was it a culture shock for you, or were you kind of easily transitioning to like kind of the States, how people in the States are compared to people
Definitely,
across?
definitely. There is always culture shock when you change different a different country.
Mm,
I but luckily I also have been living in different place in my life. I studied in England. Um, when I did my degree in England. That
wow.
was the time I probably had the most culture shock because I was young, and that was the
Mhm.
first time I went abroad from China, and my English was really bad at the time. And especially with British accent, sometimes it was difficult for
Oh
me.
my god. Yeah. I mean, but hey, it looks like you've transitioned pretty well.
Yeah, so that's why like I had some harder time when I came to the US. I felt so
Mhm.
much easier to adjust myself, and I mean I also been I originally from China and I lived in Hong Kong. We were talking about privately in Hong Kong and
Yeah.
the China. It was very very different situation. Even though it was I mean one country but different
Yes.
two
Yeah, no, no. It's
different.
true. It's true. I mean, as we've talked as well, many people who do not know. For me, I'm very respectful when it comes to people's cultures. So when being presented with China, I was informed that you have to be very tedious and very cautious of when you're talking about Hong Kong and China because the Taiwanese and the Chinese, even
Yeah,
though it is on the same land, it is different. And
yeah, yeah,
I, I don't disagree. But for me, it's amazing to see also your focus and determination because I really appreciate people, especially who migrate from elsewhere and seeing like their drive and their focus to actually succeed. Because again, many people I know come from other areas, they're coming here for a reason. So to see, for you, like you said, stopped in England and then eventually in the States and seeing where you are now, that right
Mhm.
there is proof. So my question now to you is, as we've talked about you coming into the States, getting introduced to dance, and even you in the beginning talking about the focus of my CG, bring us now to when my CG was actually created, that moment. How did that come about? What was that defining moment that said, this is the name, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going
Yeah.
all in?
Actually, yeah, this is comes a story. Good question. Yeah, when I think about the name, I was asking my friends Spanish speakers, Italian speakers, or French speakers, and I was like, I wanted to have some kind of exotic, sound very
Yeah.
elegant name, which I don't even understand, and then every I had a lot of ideas, but came I was like, I just didn't feel myself. And then I started
Yeah.
asking myself why I want to have a name which I don't feel
Yeah.
represent myself. Why don't I just be myself? And that should be the purpose of creating this brand. If I don't even if I losing myself, what's the point? So that was why I was thinking maybe I loved my ZG. ZG is means myself in Mandarin.
Mhm.
So I just thought this is something I feel like I really can reach the point.
Mhm.
Um, that's the goal of the design and also the creating the company. And then I know it's a little bit difficult for pronunciation for
Yes.
American.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to pronounce, but I mean, I just feel, yeah, I just feel like it's maybe it's just representing myself, and also
Absolutely. I mean,
also want everybody to remember you have to be yourself first. You have to whatever fashion, don't pretend to be anyone else. You have
mhm.
to be yourself, and you can be the best version of yourself. So that's a reason, and why I make this name my ZG.
But the thing is also for me, realizing with my CG the appreciation, the support that you got within your community, that right there for me is definitely different because like you said, you wanted to create, and anyone who creates a brand, they always want to. I believe many people should, if you're creating a brand, you should believe in it 100%, even going down to the actual name, which sounds like people would think it's common sense, but a lot of times people just pick a catchy name and not really feeling like, wow, this represents the brand. But like you said, you took a step back and went back to your culture and my
Yeah.
CG, like you said, what that means. And I think it fits. So my question to you is, what was that first moment like for you creating an artist's costume and then actually seeing them on the dance floor?
Yeah, first I love costume. I love the dancers wearing the costume on the stage. And the second, it's really creative. I feel like nowadays you could wear any kind of a costume to perform. Doesn't have to be the traditional Latin dance
Mhm,
costumes. Even though I
mhm.
love I love Latin dance costumes, but nowadays you see like if you a lot of dancers also got inspired by Jello, um or Shakira, they are kind of styles. So it's become more modern and more edgy with a boots instead of traditional Latin dance shoes. And
Yes.
yeah, showing, looking really sexy, but
Mhm.
still powerful. So yeah, that's something I love a lot. It's just every time when I see the dancers performing, I mean, maybe most people will be inspired by their dance movement. I was always looking at what they were wearing.
Yeah. Hey, and to be honest, what you do is no different than many people I've seen because I think also dancers or performers, I may say, the responsibility that you have on a stage to look the part, whether it's a character, whether it's you, many people are appreciating you on the stage because a lot of times they might not feel comfortable being on stage. But then there's also people that are looking you from head to toe to make sure things are looking correct. Because sometimes costumes, in my opinion, from either performing or just seeing hundreds of shows through my years, a lot of times the costumes almost look the same. And for me, what really separated you from many others. And don't get me wrong, we have many shoe companies, we have many just regular clothing lines, but
Mhm.
actually your line so focused as well on just being unique. I can see it from the colors, I can see it from the designs. And as we're talking, you have your iPad already still sketching. I mean, your mind your mind is just racing. And for me, that's what I love to see is that not only are you creating something unique, but you've also then included that community that supports you in that, whether it's them using you to use costumes for their shows, whether they're also in your promo videos, whether they're the actual models themselves. I mean, that right there shows that you really care. So, understanding now going or as we are in 2022 and really moving forward for you, what are some of the plans or things that you can actually talk about? Because I know, of course, certain designers keep things under hush, but really for my CG, what are some of the plans or things you might have in place for the future?
Yeah, you mentioned about there are many brands out there. There are
Hmm.
shoe brand there. There are clothes brand there. Why? What's different for me,
Hmm.
right? I feel like so I got inspired by dancers, and I
Yes.
want also to be the inspirations, and I want to have this inspire back to the community to make everyone feel good. So it's not just about clothes or a pair of shoes.
Hmm.
The whole thing, why I have why I do costume and the shoes and the clothes, why some other people only do shoes or one thing is because I feel if I need to have the whole thing to complete the one
Hmm.
look, and maybe I design a shoes and then I will think about the shoes and I want to also create an outfit to match
Yes.
the shoes. And then maybe I design a costume or clothes. I want to also pair with maybe a boots to match in this costume. So I love the comment. Thank you. Yeah. So all this, it's not just a brand, a clothing, a shoes brand. It's a community. I also do fashion
Mm.
shows. These fashion shows, I always invite the dancers to be my model. They're not just regular models from fashion show. They
Hmm.
all they were maybe dance instructors. Like for example, Rush was my model, and
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that. Uh, I don't know if you can reimagine. Ross my model before, and Liliana, she is also instructor um, at the Rumba Latimbo. And yeah, and Priscilla, and a lot of them, they
Yes,
were.
Priscilla Cologne.
Oh, yeah, you know,
Yes.
okay,
Of
great, you
course, of
know
course.
everyone. you can see like I have a lot of dance instructors being
Hmm.
my model because they are. I think the models are not just a model; they are the role model.
Yes.
I want them to represent my brand because I think they can represent the meaning of the brand and the story of the brand much better than a fashion model because they already have their own story. So yeah, so I also host dance workshops, inviting instructors from other cities to
Mhm.
Boston to just want to connect the work together, and it's because I want to show the beauty is showing everywhere. It's not just it's about diversity of a beauty and it's not just
Yes.
focused on one thing. That's something I always been saying. I don't want to be so narrow, just focus on one thing, and I want to show different type of beauty and not from only one location.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I want to create it's also community, a
Yeah.
community who really can love themselves and who can really be confident, they really enjoy their life, and also they're supporting each other. And I work with a lot of instructors. They really inspire me to support the community, not only
Yeah.
about business. They support me a lot. I really really feel lucky. It's not feel sometimes it's not about business. I don't really of course I care about business. I care about of course I want my business being successful, but
Mhm.
I feel I receive so much more than just money. When I
Yes.
work with the teams, they inspire me, they support me, they tell everybody, Sherry, I love you in the shoes, and the instructors tell everyone because they really love it, not because and they want to do business. It's because they really love the quality, they love what I'm doing, and they love how it looks on them, how it feel them on them. And
Yeah.
I never push them to I never push them, oh you have to do this anything. I never have to say anything, but they just share it. They always
Hmm.
tag me. They always share anything they've been wearing on from me, and it just make me feel so good, and make me want to help anyone even more. This is something I learned from doing this business.
Hmm.
At before, like you asked me what I was before. I was working at the corporate as a marketing person or designer. I just do my own job and then
Yeah.
just finish my work and then I don't care about other things. I don't, yeah, I don't have to care about how you think about me, how you support me because I will get paid anyway, right?
Yeah.
Corporate, that's different. So now I'm doing my own business. I realize and every little support, it means a lot. And it just make you, it just keep you going, keeps driving you to have the motivations, keep going. Honestly, doing a business like I also want to mention, it sounds so much fun, like it's fashion, it's dancing, it sounds like a lot of fun thing, but there is a lot of difficult part, a lot of frustrations, and a lot of especially like when I started to do this business, I was nobody. I was a beginner dancer. I didn't know anyone else,
Yeah.
and there were many good dancers. There were many good designers out there. I feel I was afraid, and I was
Hmm.
afraid of a failure. I was afraid of if I spend all the money and the time, I cannot make this business success, and I will feel like I'm losing. I just feel like it just I feel I don't want to fail this. I want
Hmm.
to continue. I want to make this work. And then when I started, I feel like there are also a lot of difficulties. I feel like it's not only about making the business. There are many things you don't know.
Yeah.
I may have a background from design and the trading world,
Hmm.
how and a little bit and also marketing. So I thought I could do this business, but I realized when once I started to do business, there are many other facts you have to
Yes.
know. You need to know how to build a website. It's not just hire somebody. You need to know what you want first.
Yes, because they will literally do anything they want,
Yeah,
and it's not even what you want. And
yeah,
see the
exactly. Yeah, and then you need to know, uh, even if you know how to design, you need to know how to give instruction to your suppliers. A lot of people
Mm,
thought, oh, how did you find a good manufacturers? It's not. I was like, it's not about finding a good manufacturer. They could be there could be a really big manufacturer who
yeah,
does luxury brand but could make a really bad product for you, because you need to give very clear instruction. For example, if I want to send if I want to make shoes, I need to make really clear what kind of a rhinestone, how much, which area, how much centimeters, and what kind of padding, what kind of material. So you might have a manufacturer who is very good as a handcraft, but you might need to have another material sourcing from another supplier. You may
yeah,
have to sourcing a different rhinestone from different place. So at the end, you might need to have a many different find many different suppliers to put
yeah.
in one product.
Wow.
Yeah, and one time I also designed one costume for actually for humanity team,
Mhm.
Maria Ramos, and I
Yes.
I was so confident about my design, and she is so creative. I love her ideas. So and then I designed the costume for her. She really loves it. So it's like I just think about any possibilities. It was from head to toes. So a hat, a neo hat with gloves, and a boots with a
Yeah.
belt. It was like a lot of things. I was when I designed was yeah, everything is possible. And then I realized making the whole set, I need to go to many different places.
Yeah, you definitely can't bring it to just one person. I mean,
Yeah, and then I have to make even one neotard. I need to have a one place giving sourcing the fabric, another place to
yeah,
print the pattern, another place to print to make the rhinestones, and then finally the factory can make the pattern, make the whole clothes. So even the one clothes need to go
yeah.
four different suppliers, and then you have
Wow.
a supplier from every other thing. So seven different suppliers for one set, and I
Oh my god.
realized that was such a such a nightmare to manage the whole thing. That was beginning of the business. I was also not experienced enough to
Mm,
know how much more work behind to making one thing happen. I just feel like everything is possible. But so after all this experience, I learned how can I give a very clear instruction to my suppliers, make it
mhm.
super clear how much centimeters I need, what kind of exact material I need to make. Think about every time when I'm making a purchasing order, I need to make sure every information is clear. If you see like one design here on the paper, I'm not gonna just send in this picture to my supplier. I need to write a lot of information
Yeah,
to my supplier to make, and I might need to also go to several different supplier to get all the material too. So
yeah.
so
I
it's
mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, definitely.
yeah, so that's like something I learned. Another thing I learned is how much time you need. Now I know
Yeah.
if you want to make a really good quality, and I know I can make, but I know how much more time you need, because there is always one thing. There is always something you might need to redo and to make it perfect. And the another thing is never trust your supplier how much time they can do. If they tell you 1 week, it might be 1 month, because they only
Mm,
tell you the best situation. Maybe it's 1 week in the best
yeah,
situation they can make. But there will be maybe something could happen. Oh, sorry, we couldn't get the material. Oh, sorry, my manager is on holiday. They could give you different kind of excuses. End up maybe you will have so much more. You might need so much more time. So now I
yeah.
know when I make something, I always make sure I have so much more extra time to make
Yes,
anything. Customize shoes or customize costume. I know how much more time I need to have before I can say yes to my customers.
that's
Otherwise, if I don't have a time, if I don't have enough time, I rather say no because I don't want to waste often people's time for something I cannot
yeah, no,
manage.
absolutely. And I love to hear is that how you learn from your initial experiences doing it, because it's not as easy as, like you said, one manufacturer doing one set. It could mean multiple, but that's a learning process. And I think to really understanding your journey from Hong Kong to England to here, and seeing how much support you're getting from your community and abroad, that's something special. But I think really it's just because people see a genuine product that they can believe in, because they also see people that look just like them and people that they even know within our dance community being a part of it and supporting it as well. Because I think that's what we need a lot more of the businesses that people like us in the dance community are a part of or create. Yeah, we definitely would love the support of our community to have, because a lot of times they sometimes support people they barely know before they support the people that's right in their front, their next door. But realizing with my CG Dance has done, at least before we get into our last segment now called the randoms, I definitely want to show a quick sneak peek right here of my CG Dance. You can go to mycgdance.com. Here you can check out clothes, shoes, accessories, and more, talking about the affiliate programs, ambassador programs. And over
And
here, I see you have activewear. You also have, of course, the dance shoes. I mean, and even the new arrivals. But this right here is really special. The dancers here that you have, the diversity that you
you
have.
notice they're all dancers, right? You can recognize
Yes.
everyone. Yeah, I love this job. They really inspire me.
And that's amazing, is that what really pops to me is the uniqueness, because we, like I said before, we have companies, shoe companies that are geared to certain settings, but in the dance world there aren't that many. There are some, but what I love about yours is just the uniqueness, how they look. And one thing I can say for sure is Tina definitely hella promoted your shoes back
Oh,
at the
yeah,
Bachata
yeah,
Rosa
I love
weekender.
her.
Yes, I believe it was a Sky dance sneaker she
Yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about.
that was the one she was wearing.
But also here
Yeah,
you have active wear as well, which is amazing. You
yeah,
have dance
that's
wear,
always need. Yeah,
and of course
that's,
you got to show off that Instagram. But for me, honestly, just looking at this website, I love it. For me, it has a lot of substance, but it's
oh, I
so
want to
uniform.
mention something also.
Yeah,
I saw
absolutely.
the pictures also taken by myself at my
What? See,
studio.
look, I mean, hey, that right there shows like
Yeah.
you are
Oh,
really a part of your brand.
thank you. Yeah, I like to be the person behind, but yeah, I try to learn everything and trying to do not everything, but do as much as possible because it's the process. I can also get to know the models, to know
Mhm.
how the product fitting on them. And
Absolutely. And honestly, guys, definitely take a look at www.mycgdance.com. Also, as well, a link will be provided. All right, guys, now we
thank
are
you so
at
much.
absolutely, absolutely. But now I think we are at our conclusion of our talk, and we are at the final segment called the randoms, which is about 5 to 10 questions that I have here that might deal with dance, might deal with life, and everything in between. So, Sherry, all I need to know is when you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Number one is, what is a pet peeve of yours on the dance floor? Meaning is you are following or leading, but you are dancing with someone. What is things you do not like people to do when dancing with you?
Mm, keep talking.
No, I mean, I definitely understand what you mean. The amount of times that I've seen people try to have like full on conversations and you're just trying to enjoy the dance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I prefer if you want to talk, let's talk after dancing. But some
Yeah.
people Just keep on talking.
Absolutely,
And like a
absolutely.
little bit talking is good. Like when you say hello, yeah, how are you? Good. Yeah, a little bit
Yeah.
is good, but yeah, I met some people just keep on talking the whole way.
Oh my God.
Usually it happens to beginner dancers, people who are not professional dancers, because they are coming to dance not because they want to dance, they want to meet people. So that's the ones I don't like.
No, don't worry. I appreciate the honesty. All right, next question.
Yeah,
What's your favorite dish in Boston?
favorite dish is my own cooking.
Ah, okay. Shameless plug, but
It's so easy to answer. Sorry, just I love cooking, so
all right. I love that. I love that answer. All right, next one here. Right now, we're gonna give you the option. You are at a dance festival right now, and the organizer is telling you you can have a close. You're choosing the last show. Who are you choosing? You can choose any group you've ever been a part of, any group you've ever seen. Who is your closing act at a dance festival?
closing at festival. Can you give me some samples? Like, who? Give me
So
the some.
basic so basically, like, whether it's a Yamule, whether it's a Next Level, whether it's a Jen and Louise, is there any team, if somebody's like, hey, I want you to tell me who's the last show of the night, who is a team you'd recommend?
Okay, yeah, definitely one of them. Tina's teams or Jenna's teams.
There you go.
Jenna's.
Hey,
So
that was the
you won't get wrong for these two teams.
there you go. There you go. I love that. All right, this should be interesting. So you have the last song of the night at your favorite social or event. Who are you taking on the dance floor? Who's your dance partner for the last song of the night?
Okay. My dance partner. um, quite few people. Usually, okay. In Boston, I can only say it's in Boston because that's in
Okay.
what I dance the most. I would say, um, wow. Sorry, I've been
No, it's
dancing
okay. I kind of put you in the
so off, so like a lot recently. So I've been dancing with the ladies team a lot recently.
yeah, no, no. It doesn't. It can be a lady. It can be a gentleman. Whoever you choose.
Okay, actually, I like ladies as my partner. I like okay, I like Andres. And I like Nathan. Sorry, I forgot their full name.
No, no, it's okay. But I think when they see this, they'll definitely know who you're talking about.
um, yeah, I okay. Right now, I just my brain is like blank. I've been dancing a lot with the girls.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. All right. We're actually going to go to our next question. And this should be also interesting. If you aren't creating a new outfit, what are you doing on your downtime?
um, I love a lot of things. I like outdoor activities. When I'm not doing design, I like cooking. I like ski. Um, I like listen to music. I like playing with my cat.
Hey,
And also, yeah, I like reading. Sometimes reading the books, like different kind of stories.
yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of things when I'm not
That's
crazy.
great. See, many people probably might not know that if you're not with you, but that's great because I think people have to understand there's a lot more to life than what you just see on Facebook and Instagram. You can do so many other hobbies and activities. So I definitely appreciate that. All right, this one should be interesting because we're kind of getting into the world of fashion, and I've talked to many designers, and a lot of their answers vary respectfully, but yours and when I ask is, what is your favorite shade of color?
I love yellow and the fuchsia a lot. I don't know if you notice, I have a lot of yellow and the
Mhm.
fuchsia. And my new design, you can see the boots behind. It's
Yes.
actually here.
Yeah, right there, right there.
Right, yeah, fuchsia and yellow. And also I noticed the color, the favorite color kind of change by the mood.
Hmm.
Sometimes I like this color, and another time maybe I uh, like maybe blue
Hmm.
or black. So recently I really love yellow and the fuchsia, so I put a lot of this kind of color on my design.
Okay, I love it. I love it. All right, next one here should be
Mm.
interesting. Can you give us a fun fact about you?
Fun fact. Um, a fun fact about me. uh, um, mm, I am probably the most best dressed person, but worst dancer at a dance festival.
There you go. Hey, hey, that right there is a shameless plug, and I definitely believe it. So definitely, people are gonna hold you to that. They're gonna see you at the next dance festival, and you
I
gotta
am
be
going to Viva la Bachata, and I know every time when I go dancing at a festival, I'm always very well dressed. But when I go to festival, there are so many good dancers, and when you are dressing well, you get invited dancing a lot, and then
yes.
you get embarrassed when you can't follow.
Oh my God. Hey, it happens. And that's even interesting because it brings us now to the next question. Can you give us an embarrassing dance moment?
Oh, a lot, probably. I'm just not the best dancer.
No,
It's
that's
just
fine.
like, I just feel embarrassed sometimes when I wear very cute clothes, and
Mhm.
then one time I have a very nice pants, and when I was dancing, the button was open, the zip was
Oh,
open.
I mean,
So
hey,
I had to go to in the middle of the dance. I have to say sorry. I have to go to bathroom.
hey, it happens. Man, hey, I mean I've seen worse, but hey, at least you respectful. Like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom, no questions asked, and of course, you probably got it fixed. But hey, I appreciate you even doing that. But now it actually brings me to our second to last question, and of course, you living in Boston and people, you've gotten to meet so many people. Can you give me one word to describe Boston?
Boston is a very, very one word to describe. There are many words though. Educated, empowered. Okay,
Okay.
empowerment. I have to say this word, empowered city, because I really feel, probably not everyone, but at least the people I met, they are really educated. I feel like so much empowered.
Hmm.
I feel being accepted, even when I just arrived here. I don't feel like I'm a stranger here.
Hmm.
And even if I'm not the best dancer, I feel like people accept me just to because I want to learn. And when I started to do this business, I was nobody. People will encourage me to continue to start. So I cannot think about any other word except empowered city.
I love that. I really love that answer. It really shows how you thought about that. And now it actually brings us to our last question. And this one should be very interesting. So you are stranded on an island for a weekend, but you can only have three items with you. What are they?
I will have clothes on, right?
That is totally. You know what? You will have clothes on, so we'll keep the clothes. We won't even use that as an item. You'll have clothes on.
Okay, my phone. I need to have my phone. I need to have a light.
Okay.
I'm a bit of dark, and I need to have a fire.
There you go. I
Uh,
mean, I think that's perfect. You need your phone, you need your light, and you need some fire.
yeah,
And
that's
honestly, I I
and
see
then
how
I
you're kind of
have other food.
absolutely, absolutely. But Sherry, thank you so much for doing this segment. I love doing it towards the end. I feel
Thank
like it
you.
kind of brings the conversation in full circle. But now it brings us to a conclusion of our talk tonight. And I would definitely say, as we've talked as well, this really is a introduction into who Sherry is, who my CG dance is. And for me, seeing or understanding where you've come from, I truly now value even more and appreciate where you are currently. Because again, coming to the States, many people have a focus and a dream, but it's really how much determination you have to actually succeed. And to be honest, to see you doing amazing things in Boston, having the dance community support you, because you get to actually see the creations you make being shown to you and the masses. And honestly, I thank you so much for what you do for your dance community and abroad, because again, it's not an easy job. It's not as easy as calling a manufacturer and they're going to have it for you always. I mean, it takes time, but for you to actually come here on the podcast, it means a lot, because also you're helping. And I would say everything you're talking about is also great advice for future designers, because so many people want to get into this life, but may not understand how it
Yeah.
can really be. Um, but seeing how far you've gone, I really appreciate it. We here at the podcast support you. I will as well, letting people know I will be now ordering from my CG Dance for
Oh,
um,
thank you.
absolutely from my teams, for and I definitely want to promote your brand, because knowing the person who creates this amazing work, I mean, the colors, the styles, and just also you including your community is something I love. But
Thank
before
you.
we do go, I would love to know if you had any last few words for myself in the audience, but also where can people catch my CG Dance and where will you be next?
Yeah, so thank you so much for everything, the introduction, conclusion. It really means a lot, and the support. I really can't wait to do your collection soon. And
Yes.
I can't wait to see you next time when you're at the podcast and showing, oh, this is
Oh
my mom.
yeah, absolutely,
This
absolutely.
one, that's mine too.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and then how to find me? You can. I really welcome everyone to ask me questions. I know it's hard to talk about everything in one podcast, and there is so much we
Yes.
should talk about. You can ask me. Um, you can find me from my Facebook Sherry Chen and Sherry Shanshan SherryShanshan, or you can
Mhm.
find me on my ZG official page. My ZG is MYZIJI and underscore official.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, if you go to my website, you can see my Instagram already on the bottom. And if you send me a message, I will always reply. And yeah, so that's actually this through this you can pretty much can find me.
Absolutely. I mean, guys, I thank you all for tuning in. Everyone that will be tuning in. This has been a really special episode 189, and we have here the owner of My CG Dance, the one and only Sherry. And honestly, Sherry, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy woman. I definitely can't wait in the future that we can all come together and really, again, appreciate. We here at the podcast appreciate your contributions to the community, because you're also helping people find that self confidence from within. You're doing amazing work. Definitely can't wait to see the new projects you have coming up. We definitely support it. And guys, I definitely would love to have, and hopefully we will be seeing Sherry on a new episode on the podcast later this year, catching up with her and seeing what she has happening with the one and
Yeah.
only My CG Dance. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. See you this Friday. Everyone have a great night.